Hello, Hoopers. It is I, Matty G. I am joined by my good friend D-Mac. You can find him at NBA Fantasy Bible for this must-watch show because this is musts and busts. It's catchy because it rhymes. And if you were wondering what musts and busts are, these are the guys, this is our must-draft players. Like, you know, the thing, like, this is must-draft players. And the busts are like, no, don't do that. Oh, no, why'd you do that? Oh, don't do that. The ones that we wouldn't touch. And he's in the studio right now and he's hearing this for the very first time because he has no idea what he is in for in this show. D-Mac is completely clueless to what we're about to do. So let's hit the intro. Let's bring in D-Mac and let's have some fun for this one-of-a-kind, first ever must and busts fantasy basketball draft. This is it. You have no idea what you're in for.
No idea. I'm clueless at the best of times, but even more so now, mate.
No, look, people think, he goes, I don't share notes. I don't do it because I want the reaction to be real. Because when I had this idea, I sent you, tell me what you got on your phone today as I was just driving by. I got a video from you. I think you were driving, so hopefully you were being safe. Driving, saying to me, I pulled over.
Good, mate. Yeah, you got to be safe. But you go to me, I've got a great idea, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. You sent me a link to a draft room. I'm not going to tell you what it is. So I'm really looking forward to it. But musts and busts, is that a clue?
It's a massive clue. It's a massive clue because I think there are guys that at every position, and what I've got up on one's, I've got two, this very technical setup. There's two laptops going on. There's a charger involved in case there's obviously a microphone and a professional podcasting equipment, but there's also a draft room. And let me share the draft room. It's a two-person draft room. Also, highly suspicious when you say, Matty, what are we doing here? Well, to start off with, this is a must and bust draft. Can I ask you, what would you like to draft? We're going to be drafting 24 players. That's right. On this episode of The Take, we are going to draft 24 players each. We can take 2 players from every round. Now, considering a usual round is 12 players, just a traditional, 12-team format, 2 guys that we must draft. And the first 5 picks are frozen. Because in the must draft, you could not touch Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama, Shea, Luka, and Giannis, because we know the pretty much consensus top 5 right now. That is it across the board. In fact, Anthony Edwards is the next one across ADP data with a blended average of 7, which means the top 5 is pretty much the top 5, and then it gets a little bit murky after that, correct?
It does, absolutely. Top 5 consensus. I have seen Giannis go a little bit higher in Yahoo leagues, but yeah, 5 for me.
Now, this is the thing. There's also busts in every round. So you can be team must draft or you can be team bust draft. 2 guys who you would not touch at their current ADP data. This is must versus busts. It's must versus busts. This is what the show is. It's the must draft guys at this round that we like at the value. It doesn't matter. But if we can get them there, we want to take them at this current ADP. But if they're there currently at their current ADP where people are taking, we're like, no, that's not good. Would you like to be team must or team bust?
Ooh, I am a fan of busts.
Okay,
so I'm go team bust.
Okay, well, I will do team. No, this has been, I pause this because you have no idea what's going on. I literally have to unpause this. 2 busts in the first round. Again, these players, they're out. So I'm just going to put them over in the queue so we know what's going on over there. Like, why are those guys not drafted with your ADP data? We're pretty much starting here from Cade. 2 guys who I think is a really solid shout for the first round this year. And I think this is what I'm looking at as well. I'm looking in the first round off current ADP data. It's basically then rounded out to Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, Trae Young, and Domantas Sabonis is up to 12. So for me, I am going to take must draft in the first round. A guy who is fringe there, I'm going to draft him in a second. I'm going to unpause it. My first pick will be Anthony Davis. I think he is consistent there. I still don't see it as a must draft player. Anthony Edwards is the next guy. Who would you take as your first bust in that first round? Considering your list is Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Karl Anthony Towns, Trae Young, Sabonis, and I'll throw some Booker in there for you too.
Look, I'm going to go Cade Cunningham. He's for me, pretty much consensus 6 for me. And I know a lot of people prefer AD, but I think that Cade Cunningham can have an outstanding season. He is a bit of a bust because he hasn't been this high, particularly in 9-cat. The turnovers do kill him. But I think, again, those that have seen me draft love to go for assists and elite point guards. So I'm going Cade Cunningham.
Now, he's your first bust. Now, again, he probably means that he's not going to come back at the end of the day as a first-round value guy. Who's your other guy in that position who you are a stay away from? Because I'm staring at one right now who I do not think is as a first-rounder.
Look, it's a make or break. It's a make or break. It could be Cat. It could be Cat. But I like James Harden. Like, again,
oh no, this is who you want to draft. So you think he's a bust?
I don't think he's a necessarily bust, but he's one of these guys that could make or break your team. So he could be a bust because of risk. So you could turn it back and we go for complete bust, guys that I hate at this spot.
Oh, can I resume? Can I undo? A guy who you hate at this spot, because I know you like Harden. I know you love your point guards.
Yeah, well, in that case, I like Cade Cunningham. I just think he's so
overdrafted.
Look, I actually like him. It's just because if you look at standard 9-cat, I don't think he gets anywhere near it. But I do like him at that point. But I'm going to stick to Cade. And a guy that you actually mentioned, we probably will go Cat. Let's go Cat.
Yeah,
I think he's a not-bad guy.
Yeah, I think he's a first-round bust this year. I'm right there with you. And this is weird because we've seen Sabonis creep on up now. He's now 13th on ADP data on Fantrax. So we move into the second round now, apart from my guy. Now, the other guy that's first round right now is my must-draft guy. I was going to draft Cade, you savage. I'm on Team Cade. Must draft. I'm going to go. I think that I might go Devin Booker. Do I draft Devin Booker as a potential first guy?
I think it's safe. Yep.
No, look, I'm going to go Trey. I'm going to go Trey because I've said a good Trey build up the first round with those elite assists is there. My must draft now for the second round, and I can pause it here for 1 second to run through the current ADPs of second round players. James Harden, Steph Curry, LeBron James. These are the names you have to pick from as well. So you got to pick out 2 busts. And if I say a name that you're against as a must, you got fight me for it. Fight me for it.
It's interesting because you did go Trey Young, and I know that earlier in the season you're like, Porzingis is my guy. Porzingis is going to be the best performing guy, but maybe he's come around. I
think he might come out as the best performing Hawk, but I think when you're getting those elite assists, especially because he's a league leader in assists this year, especially with KP in the team, it's hard to overlook that. He fills that Tyrese Halliburton role from last year in the first round point guards. They've got no problem with it, and in some of the mocks, man. I've made some pretty good Trey Young builds to pull back that field goal percentage. So I'm no longer against it. I'm all okay with it. And so I'm going to say he's a must draft if you want to start off strongly with assists. There's a guy in the second round that I love, though, and I'm going to put it here. I'm going to go down the list to Tyrese Maxey. Let me resume it. I think Tyrese Maxey has borderline first round value this year. For me, he is a must draft in the second round. If he has fallen to you, I think he is a very high must candidate. Your rest of your candidates for the second round, again, Harden, Curry, LeBron, Durant, Mitchell, Jalen Williams, Jalen Brunson, Alperen Şengün, Evan Mobley, Paolo Banchero, and Pascal Siakam.
Look, there's a guy that's a little bit higher in terms of ADP, but Domantas Sabonis, I think he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be in this area in terms of ADP, and I know.
I'll bend the rules. Rules. He's fringe first. It's fine. You can take him.
If you unpause it, I'm going to take him.
I'll say yes because he's 13th on Fantrax. He's 11.9 on Yahoo. He's 11 on ESPN, but he is 13th on Fantrax. So sure, go for it. Take Sabonis.
Yeah. I'm going to take him. You got to unpause it for me, and then I'm going to take him.
I do have to do that.
Do that. Sabonis, I think he's being overdrafted. So different to what I did with Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is one of these guys that probably won't reach value in terms of straight 9-cap, but I love. Sabonis, I think, is just not worth it in and around that first, second turn. Sabonis is my guy there. Another guy who I just can't get on at this stage because he hasn't been at this level.
Tell me, preach on it.
It's N. Edwards. I just look.
That's
Yes,
cheating.
it's
That's
exciting and we
cheating.
love it.
That's cheating. I know. I love it because it's cheating. No, I don't love it because it's cheating. I love it because it is cheating. Because even if he's in the second round, you wouldn't touch him. And we're doing our second round, guys. So you're still like, oh, I'm not touching Anthony Edwards in the second round, which I find is completely odd considering where his ADP is at right now. His ADP is 7.9 on Yahoo, 6 on ESPN, and 7.1 on Fantrack. So for me, like I understand why, but you've reached deep back into the first. I mean, like Edwards in the first round is a bust, and you're looking at him at the second round being like, please, and just no.
Yeah, for me, he's still a bust. Yeah, I've skipped him, and we're talking about second rounder, but he just stands out. So second round, absolutely take him. Probably still take him first, but when he's got that ADP of what did we say his ADP was? Close to 6 or 7, something like that.
6 and 7. Yeah, it's 7.9,
reeks of
6
bust
and 7.1. So that just it reeks a bust.
Yep. Yeah. So, okay, I will focus on the second round. I've got the objective. This is what happens, mate. When you don't give me notes before the show, I'm going back and grabbing Ant Edwards.
But this is the thing. We're still talking about guys. This is like, again, first round bust. You could this is where you could have interchanged Karl Anthony Towns in him because Karl Anthony Towns is fringy. He's 12th on that. So these 4 guys in the first 24 picks, you're very dubious, especially in the first round. And again, we don't want to get off on the wrong foot on our first round. So if these guys for DMAC are in the first round, he's avoiding them, fine. That's a good takeaway. It's a good takeaway. I've got an interesting one for you because I'm pretty torn here because Jalen Brunson's in that mix. So if you want to reach back for Jalen Brunson here, I was going to preach for the Jalen. If I was in the bust team, I was taking Brunson. I'm really curious now to who I take here because there are 3 must drafts for me, and I might have to reach back because there are guys like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Donovan Mitchell. And I love all of them, and they're all in the second round right now. In fact, Steph Curry has crept up. He's at 15th on Fantrax. Kevin Durant is 17th. Maxey is still 21st. That's why in the first round, I'm like, this is a guy in the second round who is my absolute smash. Jalen Williams is down to 23. Now, do I take him? No. But the guy who I'm absolutely taking there, if he's fourth, I'm going to take Don, and I'm just going to say it's an absolute split for me with Steph Curry. Like Donovan Mitchell and Steph Curry for me are 2 guys, especially that early season bump that I can get from Donovan Mitchell with our good friend and you, because you have never met a injured point guard you don't want to take home with Darius Garland out. So we're into the third round now, DMAC. I've got some names for you. And this is where it gets really interesting. Scotty Barnes, Amen Thompson, Josh Giddey, Bam Adebayo, Jaylen Brown, LaMelo Ball, Chet Holmgren. And by the way, if you want to look at this is the ADP data on fantasy on hashtag basketball DMAC. So if you have, I know you have that probably up already, but if you want to have that there ready to go, that's where it's getting this from. Zubac, Jalen Johnson, and Ja Morant. And I think it's pretty obvious who I'm taking in this regard. I am taking Jalen Johnson as an absolute must draft third round guy. His ADP on ESPN is 50. So there's value there. It is 26 in the Fantrax, 26.8 in Yahoo. I am taking Jalen Johnson there. I think he is a second round player. If I'm getting him in the third round player, I am hitting that every single day of the week. I think the other guy off this ADP data that I'm going to look at, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Amen Thompson. Oh, you got to pick first. Oh, you got to pick.
It's me.
Oh, damn
it's
it.
me. So I'm going to now look at the third round guys, right? So we've talked about Jalen Brunson, but he's technically, his ADP is still at the back end of the second round. So yes, I don't think he should be there. So I would typically pick him, but we're going to go for third round guys in the ADP. Well, can I?
No, take him. No, take him. Take Brunson. It's great. You can take Brunson.
Bust. Yep. Bust at an ADP of 22. So Brunson is there.
Yep.
The next guy, he's actually in third round in terms of ADP. We mentioned him earlier, but it's Paolo Banchero, a 4A9 category league. Too many holes in his game. He is creeping up for whatever reason in mock drafts, and I just don't see it, and I can't get around it.
Now, in the third round right here, I am very much a big advocate of Josh Giddey or Armin Thompson. And you know that I am dubious of Armin Thompson. His ESPN is at 36. That's in the beginning of the end of the third round. So you can get him in the fourth round. That's huge. Yahoo 26, Fantrax 24. Now we're in the third round. And if we're talking third round, guys, which is kind of where he is now, like he's in that zone where he's 28.9 blended average. Look, for a guy who could be top 24 in 2 rounds, yeah, sure. I'm going to take Armin Thompson as an absolute banker in there for me. That now brings us to our fourth round. This is flying. I love this. This is good. This is good. I see other guys who were safe there. I would have back Zubac as being a bit of a. Would you take Zubac in the third round, fourth round as a no-no as well? Can we just put Zubac on the agenda as a bust?
Yeah, I think he's a bust in the. Did we say the fourth?
Third. That was the third.
In the third. Yeah, I think he is a bust, but he's not a bust that's just going to completely ruin your team. I think he's just going to be around that 50 to 60 mark come end of season. I don't think it's a complete bust, but it's way too high for me.
Yeah, way too high. So we won't put him in the bust, but we're just putting him in the like just stand outside. Just for me for 1 second. Fourth round now. These are the guys: Cooper Flagg, Zion Williamson, Jamal Murray, De'Aaron Fox, Derek White, Dyson Daniels, Desmond Bain, Vucevic, Miles Turner, Austin Reeves, Kawhi Leonard, and Joel Embiid.
Yeah, big clue
Interesting.
There. Yeah,
big
there's a couple in there.
There's a couple in there. We have to scroll this one down. Here we go. Scroll this one down. Move this one up. We've got to go down in here. Here we go. This is it here. This is it. Cooper Flagg, Franz, Zubac, Turner. I'm going to unpause it, and I'm going to say now that if in my fourth round, so this is my fourth round, I'm taking Kawhi Leonard in my draft. Like, this is a potential first-round player. He is a must-draft for me if he's in the fourth round. If he's just sitting around in the fourth round, scratching his, what? I'm taking Kawhi every single day of the week. Who are you not touching from that list? You got Flagg. I know you love Flagg. If you want, I will take Flagg as a must-draft in the fourth for you to make you happy. Zion, Murray, Fox, White, Daniels, Bain. I'll pause it for you so you don't freak as well. Vooch, Turner, Reeves, and Embiid.
You said it at the end. It's Embiid. For me, it's in the fourth. Too early. I just can't get around it unless it is a roto situation or a games cap. Getting him in a standard head-to-head league, Joel Embiid, bust territory for me. I did.
You did.
The other guy is another guy that has had a.
How was the wife's birthday? Zion, Murray, Flagg was Williamson, Murray, Fox, White, Daniels, Bain, Vooch, Turner, Reeves are the only other names from this round that you can choose from.
Yeah, this is controversial, but I'm going to go. Oh, did you say Reeves? I'm picking from the next one. I'm picking from the next round, aren't I? Because I was just
this is blended. I'm going blended average, and you can see that there's so he's 47 here. So Reeves is 47 here, and he's 51 on Yahoo, 54 on ESPN. His blended average is 51. The people that are the highest on him are obvious the hoop heads. Shout out to Fantrax at 47.4 for Austin Reeves, and that's been up there. So you can see him 47.38 there on your screen, which means he's just that slightly just round it up. So they're all in this round here.
Yeah, look, I wanted to take Zion. You mentioned him before, a lot of hype earlier. Until I see it, I want him to have a successful season, but until I see it, I'm still not a Zion truther.
One of the funniest things the other day was when Zion Williamson just wanted to come out and try and dunk on someone, and Willie Green was like, please, can you effing not? And had to take him out of the game in Melbourne because he was like, come on, man. He kind of walked off like, yeah, I know. He careened. And I mean, he deliberately careened into, I think it was it Tui? I can't remember who it was, but he deliberately careened into a bloke twice and got offensive fouls. And they're like, yeah, no, you're not dunking in this game, sunshine. I don't care about the blowout. You are not dunking on anyone in this game.
Look, I love the aggression, but he's got to just temper that a little bit, particularly in preseason, because we need to be careful. I like Zion, but not in the fourth round.
And when we were talking off air, I got to meet him again for just matter of seconds. Lovely guy. good with the kids. Loved the kids. He was very like good with the fans. I'm perplexed on who I must draft. Oh, you know what? Oh, this is an easy look. I really do like Reeves here, but if he's fallen down to me here, I think I'm going to have to take Miles Turner in this round. Where is he? There he is. Miles Turner. I think now in this round, this is a guy who I see as top 30. In the fourth round, that's by the back of 40, like what, 38 to, wait, no, third round 36. So that's 38 to 44 kind of, territory. I'm even doing my math wrong at this point in time. That's how many picks I'm looking at right now. But a guy who could be top 25, and I think in this round, in the fourth round, again, up to pick 48 in a 12-teamer, yeah, that's someone who I'm very curious by. So I'm okay with 36 to 48, bringing me back Miles Turner in my way. So now we move on to our next one, according to #basketball. We move into the let's call it the 50s zone. Jimmy Butler, Josh Hart, DeMar DeRozan, Trey Murphy III, another Pelican, Jarrett Allen, Denny Advia, Kobe White has crept up into this zone right now. Jalen Duren, Zach LaVine, Jalen Green, and Kristaps Porzingis. Now, look, you mentioned it earlier. I'm going to unpause this. I'm going to go Porzingis. Now, if Kristaps, a potential top 20 player, is sitting around here, much like the case of Turner, he is a must draft for me. So I'm just drafting KP off the rip right now. This is in my fifth round. I'm very, very comfortable in the fifth round taking him because now we're moving into pick 48, basically pick 49, all the way through into the early 60s. So if he's sitting there in that zone, yeah, absolute smash for me. Who's your first not of that list?
Of this list, Larry Markkinen just stands out for me. I just don't trust him, Walker Kessler, and I think that'll give opportunity to other Jazz players. He wasn't on the list. He was there.
He wasn't. Oh, no, he was. He was the last guy. He's the last guy.
You didn't mention him, but he was right there.
No, he is. He's under. He's actually right underneath him because I kind of just forget about Larry Markkinen.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget about him, but yeah, he's a bust to me at that point. And again, exception could be Roto, but he didn't even reach that point on a per-game basis last season. So, yeah, buyer beware with Larry Markkinen. The other guy, you did mention this guy, but Jalen Green, another situation where he's going to have a nice usage bump. But until I see it, I just can't trust Jalen Green at that point of the draft. Yeah,
look, I'm with you right there. I pretty much showed my hand before as well who I really like around this zone. I'll have to scroll all the way back down to my list. Where is he? By the way, other guys that doesn't mean we don't think you shouldn't, but if we've got guys who are sitting around that we like here, De'Aaron Fox, no problem with it. Jalen Duren, maybe. But Jimmy Butler, again, I love my guys who people forget about because they're getting old. And this guy was a top 25 player last year once he hit Golden State. And you want to give him to me at 54? Yeah, I'll take that every single day of the week. Thank you, Fantrax. I've done it. There you go. I've taken it. Oh, where's it still counting? Why are you still counting down, Fantrax? All right, next bunch of lists off here. Here we go. This is where it gets very interesting, because you know how much I love a couple of these guys. In our next round, we are now in the sixth round. We start off with one Michael Porter Jr. Let's go down to you, Michael Porter Jr. Where are you? Look, you're somewhere in here because people keep on drafting you very, very highly. And I saw your name a minute ago. Look, I have no idea where the bloody hell you are, Michael. But you are apparently 70 on Fantrax. And this is now where it gets all over the shop and we can start to see some value emerge. Because Michael Porter Jr. on Yahoo is 64. ESPN, because mostly points driven, is 61. He is 70 on Fantrax. When we scroll on down and we can see him sitting right there, MP, or just Michael Porter these days without the junior. Have you noticed that? D-Mac?
I did notice that. Yeah, okay. There you go. He's just Michael Porter.
Yeah, Michael Porter. Porter Jr., MPJ, still MPJ to me. Tyler Hero, Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, Jordan Poole, Mikal Bridges, Rudy Gobert, Darius Garland, Jakob Poeltl, and Walker Kessler. And I'm going to do you a solid because I know that you're going to love this. I am going to take Darius Garland.
Oh,
at
my
this point in the
boy,
draft.
my guy, my guy.
That's why I'm doing it. I'm taking one for the team here because if I'm getting Darius Garland back in this form of the draft in the 70s, yeah, I'm okay with it. Now, this is in the 6th round, mind you. So this is in that zone right now where he is at the 72nd pick. But again, he is a luxury stash. He is out for a very, very short term. Like of all of the injured guys in the NBA, this guy is out, what 2 weeks? DMAC 3 at most.
Yep.
He is the first one back. He has the potential this year to come back easily and be a top 50 player. Like, yeah, especially with those guys. Let's say worst 70s. I'm drafting him around his ADP. I'm okay with it here because if he falls, I'm okay, but no one's letting him fall because of the shortness and duration of that injury. I know you would, so I'm taking that one for the team.
Nice one. Yep, you mentioned his name, and Fantrax ADP doesn't, I guess, reflect this, but his blended ADP is 77.7. Walker Kessler, again, similar situation to Lowry, but you have to go all the way down to ADP of 105.2 for Walker Kessler.
Look at
So
this.
that's where guys that are
for
drafting on Fantrax really see that the risk is really high in terms of a head-to-head situation for Walker Kessler, and it's not seen as much for Yahoo and ESPN drafters at this stage. The other guy,
that's why I can't find it. You've had a real, and I'm scrolling deep to even get close to that.
Yeah, the other guy, you mentioned his name. It's Michael Porter without the junior. I like him on a per game basis, but it's the Nets, and the shutdown risk is far too high. And people that have watched my show, watch me draft, know that I play for fantasy playoffs. If it's a roto situation or a game cap situation, very different story. I love Michael Porter Jr. around this point because I think he smashes ADP. It's just the standard head-to-head. I just can't trust him.
Yeah, 100%. I'm there with you as well. Again, in roto or the rest, I can. If he's injured for a short time, much like the Cam Thomas situation last year, really good when he played, did well, and then was benched, and we had no idea what to do with it there. Can I just be clear, DMAC? We love this phase of the draft. We love the 6th, 7th, 8th rounds, don't we? Like, we think there's a lot of value guys across here.
Yeah, we absolutely do. There's a lot of potential breakout guys as well around this area, which they are trending up in terms of ADP, but there's a lot of nice value around this point, and I think you're going to hit on one right now, mate.
Oh, I might do you a disservice here because there's one that sticks out to me like a sore thumb on Fantrax, and I just want to shout out to Miles Bridges at this point in the draft. Now, Miles Bridges' ADP is the worst that it is by 1 round. Almost on Fantrax. On Fantrax, he is at 76. His ADP blended is 68.5. His ESPN is 62. His Yahoo is 67. And this is one that I think the hoop heads may have a little bit wrong, DMAC. Like, I love Miles Bridges here as a top 70-ish player. To be getting him now in the deeper rounds, I'm kind of okay with it around here. But the guy I'm going to draft because I think he's a top 30 player is Tyler Hero.
Yeah, injured to start the season, but you and I both really like Hero. I think he's like you said, a potential top 30 guy per game. How quickly does he come back from injury? Let's say he misses a month. We play for fantasy playoffs, obviously. So I think at this point of the draft, it's a score. It's value.
I think it's an absolute score. I think it's absolute value, and we're starting to fill up these teams nicely. Now we are into the next round. I should probably pause that. I know I'm trying to do it to make a thing. It's really painful to do this. We just have to do live for a second and slide across. After Tyler Hero now, we slip into the next round of players. We are in the 7th round. We're flying. 7th round now. Brandon Ingram, Peyton Pritchard, DeAndre Ayton, Mark Williams, Alex Sarr, Onyeka Okongwu, Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Isaiah Hartenstein, Anthony Simons, Naz Reid, and Paul George. Heaps of names here to get a lot of value out of. I am going to just do it very, very easily, straight off the rip. I am going to hit Peyton Pritchard now. I think he is one of the players that comes out. I've been drafting him everywhere I can get. Let me just quickly and hit Peyton Pritchard out of my queue. Really good in the 7th round, top 50 player on the season. Now drafting in the 70s, 80 on Fantrax, 83 ESPN, 77 on Yahoo. Let's get to it. Let's get Peyton Pritchard on our rosters right about here, and let's not even question it.
I love it. Yeah, no need to question it. I think breakout season for him. Now, the guy I'm looking at here, another bust. You mentioned, I think at the end of that list is RJ Barrett. Not in 9K, guys. Just no. So that's an easy one for me. And
Next,
the next guy, yeah. I've been looking at, did you mention Anthony Simons? Because you're looking at
I did
blended ADP. Anthony Simons, I just cannot trust at this point.
88.
You mentioned Peyton Pritchard, who will start for the Boston Celtics. Simons reportedly, supposedly will be coming off the bench. So I'm grabbing him here as a bust. Big old busty, Simons.
Big old bust, big old bust. All right. I am now looking at, here we go. I am going to go, I've got to get off this one. I am looking at bust. Oh, look, I love Mark Williams here. The fact that his ADP isn't so, and I also love Alex Sarr. I love DeAndre Ayton, and I love Emmanuel quickly here as well, especially with the point guard shortage. I'm a big fan around this zone. I'm going to actually, though, lock in Mark Williams because I think that I've done enough of the preaching about the Mark Williams choir. So I am going to draft Mark Williams into play for me. And there is the end of our early rounds must and bust up until the 8th round of the draft. We've got a bunch of other ones. Let's talk through a few names otherwise that we can see through our rosters and their current ADP. So let's slide this on up here and get this down. So our next marker that we will go through on this one, we're going to go through the top 120 players really quickly. So let's go through some names here and we'll just go yes and no on bus list, just so we can say yes or no from where they are. Where we're at, DMAC, how does that sound to you?
Sounds good, mate. The one that you can see at the moment, I think you just scroll past him, Josh Hart at that current ADP. If you scroll up, Josh Hart was around 60, 67. So for me, way too high at that point, just with his role, the expected role coming off the bench. I just think that tapers out this season.
Again, I'm right with you there. A bit of guys who I'm looking at right now in this. I'm really okay with Asar Thompson in this mix. So for me, a must draft in these rounds starts to become guys like Asar Thompson. And I'm kind of, funnily enough, I'm really okay with Alex Sarr here as well. So Alex Sarr, I'm okay with, and Isaiah Hartenstein as well. I think this is value. We really liked him last season, and he's kind of been faded a little bit this season.
Yep.
And I kind of really like a top 70 player in the 80s right here for Isaiah Hartenstein. So, yeah, I'll take that value. And again, at 80, when I can think he'd be a round, beat that for a round of value, much like Asar Thompson, I'm pretty okay with that. Emmanuel Quickly, I think the same thing. Love Quickly and his outlook for this year. Start to move into the next one. Let's go from 88 right around here. We've got guys like, I'm a fan of Cam Johnson. Love Cam Johnson. Klingon. What are your thoughts on Klingon?
Love him. I think breakout season for him. I was on with Dan the other night just talking about my guys, and Donovan Klingon is one of my guys. So I can't see Robert Williams being too healthy this season. Yang Hansen, I don't think he's NBA ready. So Klingon is my guy. Love him.
Collins, I think, is fine here. Thomas, look, interesting season for him. I won't say he's a bust, but it's really hard to get someone who is eligible in both positions who can score you 20 points a game on any given night, like Cam Thomas. Shaden Sharp, I've been high on him. I have been so incredibly high at him. The fact is that I got to do a cheeky punt bet today with him with 15 against the Warriors in the preseason. 15 plus points, was paying $225 for him. I was like, he'll smash it. He scored 20 plus without even trying. Yeah, so easy. I love Shaden Sharp around the zone. Buzelis, high on him. Paul George, is he in a void for you this year? Is he a bust potential?
Not necessarily. At 93, I think the risk is a lot lower. We know the upside. Good. And it does come down to the league settings as well. If you've got the ability to, I won't say stash, but if you can have multiple IRs and IR pluses, I don't mind him around this area. Ideally, he goes a little bit later. If you can get him just outside the top 100 in your draft, don't mind it whatsoever. I think there is that upside there.
I think a bit of a bust right now for me. Have to probably move in Kelly Ware. Really, it's just this Jovic thing and him coming off the bench now all of a sudden is a little bit interesting. Like, I don't think he'll bust you, but I think people are going to be really high on him still and overdraft him. So I like that his ADP here is at 96. I think it's about where he sits for the year, but we have seen some movement in him. He is being drafted on Yahoo, especially at 85. So people are being aggressive on him, and that means that people are taking him at 80 or people are taking him at 90. Those drafting him at 80 are being way too aggressive on Khalil Ware. So I'm sticking away from him. Like around 100 plus, I'm much more comfortable with that. I'm much more risk adverse at that point.
Yeah, me too. And potentially he actually plays better and he has more usage coming off the bench. So it may not be the worst thing for him. It's just the minutes. The minutes that are of concern, but the usage it's actually quite good. He's maybe not going to be the fourth or fifth option. He could be the first or second option in the second unit. So not the worst grabbing him around that 100, even 90 mark for me.
Yeah, 100%. I'm okay with that. Around 100, like 95 to 105, completely comfortable. Think he returns that at the end of the day. But when we start to see him in Yahoo leagues go in the 80s, then I'm a little bit like, that's 2 rounds too early. That's a bridge way too far. Kamara, absolute smash. Loving that around the 100. Love it. Beal, completely. These are guys who we are okay with. Beal, Powell, McCollum, know you love. Houses, Harris, love it. Green, love it. Claxton is one of the ones that's a bit of a question mark, though. People either love him or hate him.
Yeah, I grabbed him in the Locked On Fantasy Bowl draft the other day at about, I think, 115.
You got him so late.
I got him late, and the reason why I liked him and grabbed him there is because it's a games cap. And I think that actually ultimately helps his value per game because, again, we're trying to have maximize per game value. So I think there's some upside there. In a head-to-head, standard head-to-head, around this point is okay, but ideally he does drop to around that 115, 120 mark.
Again, and all these guys we're completely fine with here. Like Keegan Murray here, love it. McDaniels, love it. Vassell, love it. Wiggins here, completely fine. Matherin's fine. Suggs is a little bit of a dubious one. I don't see him being this bad. I don't see him being this good, but this is fine. Stephen Castle here, though, this is in love with upside. This is what I call it, in love with upside. When we have this, but it's Stephen Castle. He was really good last year. Was he? No, he wasn't, actually. Like, Stephen Castle was not this good. Like, Stephen Castle was not the 112th best player in fantasy basketball last year. Like, not by a long shot. So we're really here.
I think this definitely improved towards the back end of the season. Fox was out as well. So Castle had a lot of usage, but now Fox is injured again. But there's Fox, there's Dylan Harper. There's a lot of talent on that team. For me, like you, I think I would probably avoid at this point, but I still like the upside ultimately, but probably still too early for me at this point.
You'll be flirting with him on your waiver wire before too long if he's drafted. People will have to drop him at a point because looking back last year over the course of the season, and this is the two things, this is the story. Stephen Castle finished as the 286th best player last year. 286. That's not rosterable in a 12-teamer. It's not in a 16-teamer. It's not even rosterable in a 20-teamer. However, the last 3 months of the season, that improved. In the last 3 months of last year, scrolling back down to him, he was the 220th best player. So we say that's the end. Well, what about the silly season? Okay, what about the last 2 months of last season? Like the last 8 weeks of professional basketball being played when, people had given up their sheep stations and the rest of it. Stephen Castle then was 230th. He got worse. So he had this really nice run, this really nice flourish. I think it was like the last 3 weeks of last year. Like in the very final fling of last year, he did okay. And in fact, in the final 3 weeks, just to get back to him, Stephen Castle then was valued at the, 222nd. So he didn't even crack the 200. He had some good games, but the fact that we're so high on him for last year, that for me is a bust. D'Lo here, though, I'm really okay with this as not a must draft, but it's okay.
Yeah, I get it. Early season, it'll be great. Kyrie, we don't know what the timeline of his return will be. So D'Lo at this point, again, low risk.
Yeah. Tara Eason, smash.
Yeah, Tara Eason, I love him. I think he can be a top 80 guy in 9 cap.
Top 80? You're really high on Eason, aren't you?
Yeah, I really like Eason. If you look at his numbers from the last 2 seasons, he can easily do that. It's just the injuries that are of concern, but relatively healthy at this stage.
Yeah, I think he's coming on. I think he's going to be. Do you think he's one of those guys we talk about breakout when we look at ADP this year, where people look at 140 and be like, "Oh, he's the blah 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 best player, like those guys. So you don't climb up the list. Like this guy could be a top 60, top 50 player, and he's going like double the value, much kind of like guys like Josh Hart did and Dyson Daniels. Do you think he is one of the guys that's a breakout for this coming year?
Potentially. There's a plethora of wings on that Houston Rockets team, and he's just one of those guys, and a lot of his value is in those defensive stats. So again, just be mindful of that. Lacking in some areas, but again, those steals, the blocks, the nice rebounds does boost and elevate that standard 9-cat value.
Agreed. Malik Monk, that's fine. Bobby Portis, love. The Zach Edey here, that's a must draft and stash at 115, isn't it? That's just gravy.
Definitely. I know he's injured to start the season, but once he comes back, I think he smashes that easily.
Here, Bobby Portis, fine with Zach Edey, great. Herb Jones, we both love Herb. Why do you love Herb Jones so much this year?
I think we've just forgotten how good he is. Again, it's the 9-cat sort of takeaway with the value. In points league, not as valuable, but he wasn't available very much last season. We've just forgotten how good he can be in 9-cat. So at this point of the draft, I think easy top 100.
And if we look at it again, like back at these guys, we've seen like minutes today, Tara Easton off the bench doing things, Holiday off the bench, Şengün doing work, Herb Jones doing work. Like all these guys, even Jabari Smith Jr. had a run today with Houston. So we start to look at these teams that are like high up in the West, like Houston. And then we look at guys who are lower in the West, like the New Orleans Pelicans, and we forget about guys like Herb Jones. And this was a guy who was potentially going to be their small ball 5 last season before he was injured. And Misi came on and Markovic, who had a cracking game on Saturday night, or Sunday. He was fire, by the way. He was fantastic. This is a guy who's really good. Another one of these defensive specialists will be a defensive, like I reckon he'll make a defensive first or like maybe second team this year. So I like this here. Filipowski's fine. Porter, like it. Drew Holiday, love it. Vincenzo, love it. There's no real busts around this zone because you're drafting so late. You start to get to guys like Colin Sexton, Keontae George, and Santi Aldama. Do you think this is fair, or do we go for upside here at the end of the draft to wrap the show, or this is where you want? Because I see a must draft guy like Drew and Dante and Derek, and the guys I'm a little bit like, I like the Keontaes of the world.
Yeah, again, this is probably in a standard draft. I think this is your last or second last pick. So again, the risk is low. Santi Aldama I actually really like, particularly with the injuries that Memphis have at the moment. He's going to have really high usage. So great start to the season, may taper off towards the mid to late part of the season. But I love to get off to a flyer in my league. So why not take Santi Aldama? There's some upside there. Now,
take us through to wrap the show, mate. Let's zoom. Let's do it. Let's zoom it all the way. Oh, here we go. Let's take through the NBA Fantasy Bible. This is the bus list. This is the Bible bus list.
I wish I could change my Cade Cunningham one because I actually like him. It's just that some people would consider him a bust because of the straight 9K. It's the turnovers that kill him. But I like Cade. If I could change it, I would say he's not a bust for me. I love him. So
but you're also at the same time, we both agree that he won't finish the year as a first-round player. And so this is when people are really not in 9-cat. So we're talking 9-cat. People are really, but again, this is the thing that we fall in love with. Like we fall in love with him and Anthony Edwards in the first round, but we kind of overlook guys like Stephen Curry, who I said is a must draft in the second round because that's what's kind of been indicative right now. So we overlook these guys and then guys like Donovan Mitchell and Kevin Durant, who you and I both think are first round guys. They're not being taken in the first round. So it's not that it's a bust, but it's a little bit of a like, look, we think there might be better options on the board for Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, in a straight 9-cat. But again, I love the punt turnover. So in hindsight, I'm going to change that one, but I'm comfortable with my next picks. And again, you didn't tell me what the show was about.
I didn't.
I'm going to go.
I'm going to do this one. Well, let's go from the second pick. Let's just go with we're both like Anthony Davis is a must draft. We all know he's great. Let's go from the must draft from the second round. Let's just go from here. Start off from Karl Anthony Towns as a first rounder. No.
Yeah, not for me. I think reduced minutes. Mitchell Robinson alongside of him now as well. Not a high blocks guy anyway, Karl Anthony Towns, but that's going to be even further reduced. It'll be like he was alongside of Gobert, quite disappointing. So probably not as bad because Mitchell Robinson probably doesn't start on the court.
There you go. I said I'd drop the sound effect on him again. There you go. It's the done. Like, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Not too early in the first anyway. Yeah, wait till the second.
Sabonis out, Edwards, Brunson.
Yep.
Let's go back down through your list of guys who you are just avoiding. Not avoiding, but at their current ADP, you're steering clear. Run us through the list from Brunson for the rest of the way down.
Yeah, Brunson. So he's still got an ADP of, I think, 22, 23. So that's still too high for me. He didn't achieve that last season. I think that takes a dip this season. Banchero in the next round. I think, what's his ADP? It's in the third round. So for me, again,
it's 40. It's in the 40s. And no, wait, is it even earlier than that? I think we said we've been through so many ADPs at this point. They've all blended into one. Everyone's now drafted together. His is, oh my gosh, it's 25. Oh, yuck.
Oh yeah, no, that's
9 cap. That's no. We're not doing that. So, in Yahoo, can I tell you what it is at Yahoo? 20.
Yeah, go on. Oh, we know that Yahoo's a lot of effort going into points as well, so I sort of see where that's coming from. The Fantrax Banchero at 27, not for me. Not at all. Next one,
Embiid.
Yeah. The next probably 3 are guys that I'm avoiding just because of the risk of injury and just the missed game. So Embiid, Zion, and Markkanen for different reasons. Embiid injured, Zion haven't seen him overly healthy, but looking good. So not the worst bust. And Lowry, he's healthy, but he's on a tanking Utah Jazz team. So slightly different reasons, but we want games played as well.
Yeah. His middle round is 61 on Fantrax, but Jalen Green still at that price for you is a bust.
Yeah, sexy with the points, and sometimes you just need those points. But if you're going for straight 9 cap value, for me, he hasn't proven it. He may be better this season in Phoenix, but yeah, I need to see it before I can trust it moving forward. So for me, bust in that middle round.
And so this is where I'm all in on. I just did a show over on Believe in Fantasy Network. I broke down an industry mock draft 10-teamer, and Jalen Green was taken before Kobe White by 2 picks. And I'm like, I would never do that. I know where Jalen Green's ADP is right now. It's really similar. We're all clamoring for points. And in fact, it's really interesting because on Fantrax, Kobe White is at 61 and Jalen Green is at 61.1. These guys are basically being drafted side by side. And if it's me, 10 times out of 10, I'm taking Kobe White over Jalen Green.
Agreed. Completely agree with you. Yes. My next pick, Walker Kessler. Again, same situation with Larry Markkanen. It's just the games played. Per game, love him. So Roto, yes. Games cap head-to-head, yes. In a standard head-to-head, I just can't get behind it. Same goes for Michael Porter Jr. Exactly the same reason. The Nets will be tanking. Going to smash ADP, but it's the games played that is of concern. I feel like there's a shutdown probably going to happen towards the back end of the season.
There. And you've capped that off with Roman Barrett Jr., the RJ Barrett and Anthony Simons to roll out your busts list. My musts list. Yeah, I'll go from the second pick to make it fair. In the first round, by the way, Anthony Davis, love that. Trae Young in the first round, I am all okay with it, especially if we are looking for those high-level assist builds. I am all okay with that must draft because you're not going to get that high of assist anywhere else in your draft, and you can build off that very strongly if you complement with higher usage guys with really good field goal percentage later in on your draft. Though in the second round, I am all in on Tyrese Maxey. I think he's a potential first-round player on the year. I love that. Much the same argument there for Donovan Mitchell. In the third round of Jalen Johnson, who I think is a second rounder, and Armin Thompson, again, same argument. If these guys are in your third round and you know their second round value, we take them. Kawhi Leonard is a potential first round player. When he plays, he is a first round player. The fact that he is being drafted, where is it again? 65 on ESPN is ridiculous value. Yahoo is at 45, Fantrax 46. If you are on ESPN, you are drafting this bloke every day of the week. Miles Turner then and Kristaps Porzingis are guys who are falling down, but I also both see as top 30 players in on the year. Again, same argument for Jimmy Butler. I don't think anything changes that much in Golden State. They haven't changed that much in Golden State. He was a top 30 player after his arrival, and they want to be competitive in the West and push for championships. It's what they do. I think that's their nature. Darius Garland is just that's a for you one, D-Mac. I just had to take DG for you there, mate. I had to take 2 injured point guards because that's what if you were me, you'd be taking injured point guards left, right, and center at this point in the draft.
Of course I would. And it's value. He is dropping and he's only going to miss probably a couple of weeks. So yes, I'm about that.
The more that he drops, the more that it becomes enticing. Tyler Hero has plummeted out, and he's going to be an even better player. So for me, not to take him there in that round is huge. Peyton Pritchard as well. I see him as a perennial point guard. I see him as a top 50 player on the season. And the fact that his ADP still is low. Now, I know that we're high on him, and there's a point where it meets. There is a point where, like, the hype is okay, but drafting to that hype and over it makes it not okay. So seeing him now at 70 on Fantrax, 97 on ESPN, and 73 on Yahoo makes it really interesting for me. And Mark Williams, I see him as a top 40 player in the year. His Fantrax is on it. This is one of the biggest discrepancies in all of fantasy basketball right now. He is 63.9 on Fantrax. He is 106 on ESPN and 84 on Yahoo. So 20 positions different between Yahoo and Fantrax. I will take that every single other day of the week, especially if I'm drafting on Yahoo, and see that as the value that it can return for me at the end of the day. DMAC, tell everyone where they can find you and check out your stuff and our stuff.
Yes, we are on the Believe Network. So make sure you go and check out Robin and the team at Believe in Fantasy. You can find me on YouTube as well at NBA Fantasy Bible. And of course, over on X is probably where I do my best stuff, or at least my stuff anyway.
It's your stuff. You do good stuff.
It's my stuff.
You do good X stuff. Well, you can also find us very soon in Fantasy on Fire, the new daily takeaway show to get you prepped for your NBA season and hyping you up right throughout the daily content updates. You get fantasy in 5 minutes. Who to add, who to drop, who's got the back-to-backs, what are we doing? That's coming up really soon. And you can find me here on Old Man Squad and at X and Instagram at NBAGWiz. And you can get this podcast on YouTube and like and subscribe and all the things. We'll catch you really soon, everyone. Be well.